wanted to share my thoughts on the deadly mass shootings over this past weekend. We had three altogether. We had one in Texas at a casino. One person lost their life. We had another one in Michigan, probably the most notable one, in at a Mormon church, in which I think the count says five people. Don't quote me on that, but all reports state about five people have lost their life there. A mass shooting in North Carolina at a riverfront bar, in which three people have confirmed to have lost their life there. Now, for whatever reason, both of these shooters, two of these three shooters, excuse me, the one in the Michigan and the one in North Carolina, they actually were combat war veterans. They both had some mental health issues. The one in North Carolina a lot worse because he actually was injured with a brain injury, and while he was in the military. The one in Michigan actually had stated to a candidate that was running for a local office there that he thought that um, the Mormon church, which is LDS church, was the Antichrist. Now, if you can surmise from any of that, it looks like both of these guys were off of their damn rocker. Okay, so I'm a big proponent and okay, supporting the Second Amendment, because if you take one of people's rights, then you try to start to take the rest of them. But if guns don't kill people, and stupid people with guns are the ones that kill people, shouldn't we be funding the mental health to make sure that the stupid people don't get the guns to kill the people? I mean, that's the least that we could be able to do, right? That's just my humble opinion. At the end of the day, when you're dealing with mental health, people fly off the cuckoo at people fly off the cuckoo at any point in time. You don't know when it's going to happen. The best thing for you to do is just make sure that they have the services put in place in order to get the help that they need. Not defund those programs or take money from out of those particular agencies, like let's say the VA and other government agencies that vets need in order to be able to function throughout society once they come from combat. At the end of the day, there are some of our least taken care of people in this country, and 22% of them commit suicide. Listen to that: 22% of all combat veterans commit suicide. That's a horrible number. The individual in North Carolina, that was a targeted location. The individual in Michigan, that was a targeted location. The one in Michigan, not only did he drive his truck into the church, he also started to shoot indiscriminately at anybody that was, running around trying to scurry and get out of the way of harm. I mean, that is just another level of mental health right there. And I'm not going to go into their political backgrounds because maybe they were on the right, maybe they were on the left. I don't know. But one thing we can both agree on is mental health is real and mental health needs to be addressed. Because obviously in this country, we're never going to address the gun issue and how easy it is in certain states to be able to get a gun or to be able to pass a background check, because it's just a criminal background check. It's not really a mental background check from what all I've read. So if you've never done anything wrong in the country and they run that, that background and they see that you haven't done anything, but you might be a little cuckoo, and that might be in certain medical records or stuff like that, then they have no idea that this person that they thought that they sold this gun to is going to go nuts in the next 2 days or 3 days or so. Okay, so I just want to give my thoughts on that one mass shooting and the other mass shooting that was in Texas. I think there was another mass shooting in Pennsylvania. It's not getting much notoriety, but I think there was the one in Texas is getting a little bit more than that one, and that was at a casino. Imagine you're just throwing those chips in there, trying to win some money, trying to gamble, and boom, you get shot and killed. Can't go anywhere, man, because we're not addressing the gun issue in this country and we're not addressing the mental health issue in this country. Again, mental health is real. If you got anybody in your family that's been in the military, hell, if you got anybody in most people's family that ain't been in the military, usually we at least got one person in our family that have gotten off their rocker that needs that mental health support. They need to be able to go to one and not have to go 3 or 4 cities over because their immediate city doesn't have any type of help like that. I believe we could, eliminate a lot of these things that end up happening. If you do what you've always done, you'll get what you always got. And that's what? Mass damn shootings. Pretty disgusting in my book. Going to be back on live here in a little bit with my thoughts on the fecklessness of the Democratic Party and them just, weak and ineffective way of they go about messaging to avoid this government shutdown. Catch me back here a little bit later on. Until then, take care.